Welcome to Westbrook English Channel.
Hello, everyone.
Right now, as you listen to my voice, a clock is constantly counting down.
Yeah, tick tock, tick tock.
Exactly. We are all moving forward through our day, minute by minute. I mean, time really is the ultimate equalizer. Every single person in the world, no matter who they are, gets the exact same 24 hours in a day.
But what those hours actually mean is, well, completely different for everyone.
Totally. It changes depending on your context, your situation, and, even your biology. So today, our deep dive is titled The Time We Have.
And that tick-tock of the clock is a really great place to start. Our mission today is to look at some fascinating research on time blocks.
Right, because we want to explore that universal struggle, finding the perfect balance between doing meaningful work and getting some hard-earned rest.
Yeah, and when you understand how to break your day down into specific blocks of time, you basically stop fighting the clock. You start working with your own natural energy instead.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if we want to understand how time changes based on the situation, we really need to look at the outer limits of human endurance.
Yeah, the extremes.
Right, the absolute biggest and the absolute smallest extremes of how we measure our actions.
Yeah.
So let's start huge. The sources talk about a block of time called the 24-hour grind.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Which means working for 24 hours straight without sleeping. I imagine this is for people in really extreme situations like emergency room doctors, firefighters, or disaster relief workers.
Yes, exactly. And ultra-marathon runners too. But the biological reality of this time block is just brutal.
I bet.
Working continuously for a full day and night is a massive tax on the human mind and body. The research highlights the physical toll. Your cortisol levels, that is your stress hormone, they just skyrocket.
Oh, wow. So you're just running on pure stress.
Basically, yeah. And your decision-making abilities drop dramatically. Your reaction time becomes incredibly slow. So this kind of time block is meant only for critical life-saving situations.
I used to think of a 24-hour shift like driving a car and pushing the engine into the red zone until the gas tank is totally dry.
Right.
But honestly, after reading this, it's more like running your smartphone on 0% battery while trying to play a really heavy, demanding video game.
Oh, that is a great way to put it.
Yeah, the phone gets incredibly hot, the screen starts freezing, the system glitches, and eventually the whole phone just shuts itself off to prevent a fire. The human body does the exact same thing.
It really does. That is a much more accurate image. The system literally shuts down to protect itself. I mean, you simply cannot sustain a 24-hour grind.
No, definitely not.
The immediate priority afterward must be deep restorative sleep. You have to plug the battery back into the wall.
Exactly.
But now, to see the full picture of human capability, we have to swing from that massive 24-hour survival test all the way down to the absolute smallest extreme.
Okay, let's shrink it down.
The research calls this the 0.01 second spark. 0.01 seconds. That's 10 milliseconds.
Wait, hold on. 10 milliseconds.
Yeah.
The documents noted that a normal human blink, like just closing and opening your eyelid, takes about 100 to 400 milliseconds.
Right. So this is way faster.
Yeah, so if this 0.01 second spark is faster than the blink of an eye, how can something so incredibly fast even register in the human experience? Like, how do we even feel it happening?
What's fascinating here is that you do not feel it consciously. You don't think about it at all.
Really?
Yeah. 10 milliseconds is the realm of pure intuition and physical reflexes. Is the exact moment the synapses in your brain fire to protect you or to perform a highly trained action.
Oh, I see.
So this time block belongs to quantum computers, yes, but also to Olympic sprinters reacting to the starting gun.
Ah, so it is your body acting before your conscious brain even has the chance to form a single thought. Like if you touch a hot stove, your hand pulls away before you even realize it is hot.
Precisely. The nervous system acts as a high-speed highway, basically bypassing the slower thinking parts of the brain.
That is why.
It is. It reminds us how incredibly complex and fast our human minds operate without us even giving them permission. We are making tiny, life-saving calculations in a fraction of a second.
That is a beautiful thought. But let's bring this back to our everyday listener. I mean, most of us listening right now are not running into burning buildings for 24 hours.
No, thankfully.
And we are not Olympic sprinters reacting in milliseconds. We are just normal people trying to get through the week.
Exactly.
So since we cannot survive a 24-hour grind, how are we supposed to structure our daily work?
Well, that brings us to the more realistic time blocks. These are the tools professionals use every single day. Let's look at the first practical one.
Okay, what is it?
It is called the 1-hour focus. This is widely considered the sweet spot for deep, meaningful work.
Oh, right, the deep work zone.
Yes, it is meant for writers, computer coders, students studying for exams, or really anyone who needs to solve a complex problem. And I will admit, out of all the time blocks we are discussing today, this one is my absolute favorite.
Really, you love the 1-hour block.
I do. I love sinking my teeth into a difficult challenge, and 60 minutes is the perfect container for that.
I hear what you're saying, but let me push back on that a little bit.
Sure.
Is one single hour really enough time to write a deep research paper or to code a whole computer program? I mean, if I sit down to do a complex project, it takes me 20 minutes just to remember where I left off yesterday, open all my files, and get my brain warmed up.
That is fair.
To me, 1 hour sounds way too short. Why not a 3-hour focus?
Well, it sounds short until you look at the biology of mental fatigue.
Mental fatigue.
Yeah. Mental fatigue happens when your brain simply uses up its available energy. The research points to something called ultradian rhythms.
Ultradian rhythms. Okay.
They're natural cycles our bodies go through during the day. Our brains operate in waves of energy. You can realistically only maintain highly intense cognitive focus for about 60 to 90 minutes before that wave crashes.
Oh, wow. So you literally hit a biological wall.
Exactly. After that, your brain starts to slow down, you make mistakes, you lose your place.
So you can certainly do multiple 1-hour blocks throughout the day, but you shouldn't try to force your brain to focus heavily for 3 hours straight without walking away.
Right. And the secret mechanism here is protection. You must guard this hour fiercely.
Guard it how?
You have to put your phone in another room. You have to turn off every single notification on your computer. If you eliminate the distractions, you reach a state of flow much faster, and you will be stunned by how much you can create before that biological wave crashes.
Protecting the hour protects your energy. I really like that. But honestly, while your 1-hour focus sounds very noble and productive, my personal favorite is the next one.
Oh, let me guess. The 30-minute sprint.
Yes. The research calls it the 30-minute sprint.
This is famous for a reason.
It really is. This block uses the classic Pomodoro technique. You do 25 minutes of solid, dedicated work, and then you get a guaranteed 5 minutes of rest.
A great system.
Yeah, and the sources highlight this for busy managers, people doing daily chores around the house, or anyone fighting severe procrastination. I enthusiastically claim this is my favorite because I am constantly battling an overflowing email inbox.
Oh, emails are the worst.
They are. And here's why it works for me. The built-in reward. You work hard for just a little bit, and then you get a prize.
It is brilliant because it plays a trick on your brain's reward system. You get a small hit of dopamine, the feel-good chemical in your brain when you earn that 5-minute break.
Exactly.
It proves that you can accomplish an immense mountain of small, annoying tasks if you just promise your brain a little treat right after.
But what if my brain is just totally fried? Let's say I sit down for my favorite 30-minute sprint. I look at my emails, and I cannot type a single word. I'm too tired or too overwhelmed to even handle 25 minutes of work. What does the research say we should do when the system breaks down?
When the system breaks down, we have to shrink the time blocks down even further. We make the goal smaller.
Okay, shrink it down.
This leads us to the 15-minute pivot.
The 15-minute pivot, let's clarify what that word means in this context.
Sure.
If you are walking down the street and a huge tree falls and blocks your path, you have to pivot. You turn your body and walk in a completely new direction. So the research says this 15-minute block is for people dealing with a creative block or feeling entirely overwhelmed by their day.
Yes, because 15 minutes is the biological minimum required to completely change your physical or mental state.
Oh, that makes sense.
So if you are staring at a blank screen and feeling miserable, you use this time to pivot. You could do a high-intensity interval workout, just 15 minutes of jumping jacks and moving to get your heart rate up. Or you take a 15-minute power nap.
So the mechanism here is using a physical change to force a mental change. You get up from the desk, you stretch, you walk outside, you pivot your environment, and it resets your mood.
Exactly. It acts as a system reboot.
A system reboot. I love that.
But let's go even smaller. Sometimes even a 15-minute commitment feels terrifying.
Oh, definitely.
Sometimes you have a task like doing your taxes or making a very difficult phone call that fills you with so much dread you cannot even stand to look at it.
Here's where it gets really interesting. This brings us to the 5-minute catalyst. The research calls this the procrastinator's secret weapon.
Oh, yes.
A catalyst is something that causes a massive reaction. This is known as the 5-minute rule, and the trick is very simple. The goal is absolutely not to finish the job. The goal is just to start it for 5 minutes, and then you are allowed to quit.
It sounds almost too easy. Why does this work so well?
Well, people always compare starting a hard task to pushing a giant heavy rock up a hill. But I think that is a terrible metaphor.
What's a better one?
I think the 5-minute catalyst is more like jumping into a freezing cold swimming pool.
Ugh, I hate cold water.
Right. Standing on the edge of the pool, dipping your toe in, and overthinking it is pure agony. You freeze. But if you just jump into the water and force yourself to paddle around for 5 short minutes, your body adjusts to the temperature. The shock wears off. And suddenly you aren't freezing anymore. You are just swimming.
That is a fantastic analogy. And there is a real psychological reason why this works. It involves something called the Zeigarnik effect.
The Zeigarnik effect.
Yes. It states that the human brain absolutely hates unfinished business. It remembers uncompleted tasks way better than completed ones.
Oh, interesting.
So if you force yourself to just jump into the cold water for 5 minutes, you create an unfinished loop in your brain. Once the 5 minutes are up, the friction of starting is gone, and your brain actually wants to keep swimming to finish the job. 5 minutes breaks the paralysis of overthinking.
I love that. 5 minutes breaks the paralysis. Okay, so we have scaled our time blocks all the way down to help us get our work done. But what if you are not trying to work at all?
What do you mean?
Well, what if you're sitting in traffic or dealing with a crying child and you just need to survive a very stressful moment?
This brings us to the true purpose of understanding our time. It is not just about squeezing more productivity out of our day. It is about knowing how to stop.
Exactly.
This is essential for living a happy, balanced life.
The sources offer a specific time block for this exact feeling. They call it the 1-minute grounding. This is for the mindful breather.
Grounding?
Yeah, grounding means pulling your racing thoughts out of the future and bringing your focus back to the physical present moment. This is a tool for anyone feeling anxious, worried, or rushed.
Because the reality is that you cannot write an essay in 60 seconds, but you can completely reset your nervous system.
How does that actually work in the body, though? Like, breathing for 1 minute sounds a bit too simple to stop major stress.
It is actually a deeply mechanical process. When you take a slow, deep breath in and an even slower breath out, you stimulate something called the vagus nerve.
The vagus nerve.
Yes, it wanders from your brain all the way down to your stomach. When you breathe deeply, this nerve sends a signal to your heart to physically slow down your heart rate.
Wow, just from breathing.
Yeah, it switches your body from the fight or flight panic mode into the rest and digest calm mode. It is a biological switch.
So just taking 3 or 4 conscious breaths over 60 seconds acts as a circuit breaker for stress.
Exactly.
It's just like a circuit breaker stops an electrical fire from burning down a house. 1 minute of deep breathing stops the panic from taking over your brain.
That's right. And this leads to a very gentle but crucial reminder from all this research. We spend so much time talking about focus and sprints, but resting is not wasting time.
Let me stop you there, because I know exactly what the listener is feeling right now. We live in a world that praises constant hustle.
We really do.
So what does this mean for the listener who feels incredibly guilty every time they sit on the couch? You know the feeling. You sit down to watch a movie, and a little voice in your head whispers, "You should be doing laundry. You should be studying. You are wasting your time." How do we turn that guilt off?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to unlearn a toxic habit.
A toxic habit, okay.
We have been taught that rest is a reward. We think we have to earn our time on the couch by finishing all our work first, but that is biologically backward. Yes, resting is the foundation of work, not the prize. Your body physically needs it to repair muscle tissue. Your brain physically needs it to store memories and find joy. You do not need to earn the right to rest.
I love that.
Rest is simply part of the natural rhythm of life. Night follows day, winter follows summer, rest follows work.
Rest is the foundation, not the prize. That is such a comforting perspective to keep in mind.
It really is.
Well, we have talked a lot about different blocks of time today. We have broken down time from 24 massive hours all the way down to mere milliseconds and everything in between. Now, we want to play a quick, lively game with you, the listener, to see how you would handle your own time.
Oh, this is a great exercise in priorities.
The game is called Your Shortest Day. I want you to listen carefully and imagine this scenario. You wake up tomorrow morning and your entire day has suddenly been cut down. You do not get 24 hours. Your whole day is made of only 2 time blocks. You have exactly one 15-minute pivot and exactly one 5-minute catalyst. 20 minutes total.
Only 20 minutes.
That's it. Listener, how do you spend your shortest day? Do you use your 15 minutes for a power nap to catch up on sleep? Or do you use it for a high-intensity workout to get your blood pumping? And what about the 5 minutes? Do you use that catalyst to finally jump into the cold water of a scary task? Or do you just use it to sit quietly and breathe?
While you think about that, listener, I know exactly what I would do with my 20 minutes.
Really? What is your strategy?
Well, I would use the 15-minute pivot for a highly intense workout.
Oh, going for the sweat.
Yeah. I sit at a desk so much that if I only had 20 minutes to live my day, I would want to feel my heart beating fast. I want to feel alive. And then I would use the 5-minute catalyst just to do deep vagus nerve breathing to cool down. Action, followed by peace. What about you?
Oh, I am the complete opposite. I would absolutely take a 15-minute power nap.
Yeah.
I love the feeling of waking up completely refreshed. And for my 5-minute catalyst, I would open my laptop and reply to the single scariest email in my inbox.
Oh, wow. So brave.
I know. I would jump into the cold water, hit send, and feel incredibly accomplished.
It really is an excellent thought exercise. It strips away all the noise of our busy lives and leaves you with the core question of what your body and mind actually crave the most.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. Let's quickly look back at the journey we took. Time is a resource, but it stretches and shrinks depending on what we are doing.
Yeah, an hour for a writer deep in an ultradian rhythm feels very different from an hour for a doctor on a 24-hour shift.
Totally. And a minute feels incredibly long when you are deep breathing, but 0.01 seconds passes as an invisible spark. How we respect our physical limits and how we use these tools, the Pomodoro sprints, the cold water catalysts, it defines our balance in life. And most importantly, we have to remember that resting without guilt is a biological requirement.
Because the structure we give to our time helps us navigate a chaotic world.
Before we go, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Something to chew on long after this deep dive is over. We said at the very beginning that time is truly the ultimate equalizer. No matter how rich or successful you are, you cannot buy a 25th hour in the day.
No, you definitely can't.
But maybe, just maybe, the secret to a happy and productive life isn't about managing our time better at all. Since the clock is always ticking at the exact same speed, maybe the real secret is about managing our energy within those time blocks.
Oh, I like that.
It is about knowing when you have the mental wave for a 1-hour focus and having the grace to know when you only have the energy for a 1-minute grounding breath.
It's all about energy.
So listener, ask yourself, which time block will you try differently tomorrow? How will you manage your energy instead of just watching the clock?
That is a wonderful question to carry with you this week.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you learned something new and maybe found a new way to appreciate the time we have. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, please do.
Thank you for learning with the Westbrook English Channel.